Hey, what is up guys? Alexei Rivera here, coming to you from BGC, where Samsung International has just announced the new Samsung Galaxy S20 series. And these are some of the biggest improvements in a Samsung smartphone in a few years now. So these are quite impressive new smartphones from Samsung. And this one is the most impressive one of all. This is the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, the first Ultra phone from the S series, and this packs a whopping 108 megapixel sensor and 100 times zoom. That's crazy. It is a hybrid zoom, but it's crazy that you can get up to 100 times zoom now. And this is a 6.9-inch display, Quad HD, and 120 hertz, the first high refresh rate display on a Samsung phone, and it's a doozy at 120 hertz. So the S20 series has three variants. This is the top of the line variant, the S20 Ultra. We also have the S20 and the S20 Plus. So no more S20e, but they all have the aforementioned Quad HD 120 hertz display. They all have upgraded cameras, but this one has the 108 megapixels. The S20 and the S20 Plus have 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 64 megapixel 3 times telephoto zoom that go up to 30 times hybrid zoom. As I mentioned before, this goes up to 100 times hybrid zoom. So these are the new zoom capabilities of the new S20 series of cameras. So on the S20 series, most of the improvements do go to the camera mode of the phone. Now we do get a better night mode feature, which I tried against the S10 Plus that I have, and it does produce brighter, more contrasty and less blown out images of night mode. It does take longer, it seems like, but it does take amazing photos. And this one in particular with the 108 megapixel sensor produces some very vivid imagery even at night. There's a new mode as well called the single take mode, which is actually quite interesting because it seems like a dummy mode version of taking photos, because you turn it on, press the button, and then just move your camera around taking and it takes photos of pretty much everybody and everything. And then Samsung itself uses their artificial intelligence to tell you which photos and which videos are the best out of the stuff that you just pointed your camera to. So it's a good handy feature for people who are not photographically inclined and just want a nice little collage of maybe an event happening. Just pan your camera around and Samsung does the job for you. There's a Pro Video mode now, which is not available on my S10 Plus. So Pro Video mode allows you to customize your shutter speed, your ISO, stuff like that. The most important though is the focus, because on the S10 Plus video modes, you cannot set your focus, especially when doing, cinematic or, obviously the auto mode will just, choose the autofocus point for you. But now with the Pro Video mode, you get a more flexible and customizable way to shoot video. And then lastly, if you are super huge into high resolution video, Samsung is the first phone in the world to announce that they have an 8K video recording capabilities, which is crazy because even professional cameras don't usually shoot 8K, but Samsung's S20 series shoots 8K video, which is 16 times the higher resolution than 1080p video. That's crazy, and you'll need a lot of storage to shoot that. But if you have a great TV at home, a high resolution monitor, you have a great capability of shooting amazing video at 8K, and then you can even take screen caps of that 8K video, and I think it turns into 33 megapixel photos. All right, so taking a look at the design of the S20 Ultra that we have right here, As you can see, it is featuring the new 2020 Samsung design with the rectangular camera shape. And the S20 Ultra has a significant enough camera bump on the back that if you put it on a table, it'll wobble. But that's because you have large sensors inside that camera module, so you probably want that anyway. It's pretty significant in hand. I believe it's like 200 something grams, which is, you know, relatively heavy for a smartphone these days, but it feels really nice in the hand. The bezels have gotten even smaller than by S10 Plus, and it's packing a 6.9 inch display, almost a tablet sized from, you know, several years ago. But 6.9 inch feels very nice in my hand still. The S20 and the S20 Plus has a 6.4 inch and a 6.7 inch, and this is the largest one with a 6.9 inch display. So the front-facing camera on the S20 Ultra is 40 megapixels for your selfies, which is kind of crazy, but you know, megapixels are a thing nowadays. The S20 and the S20 Plus has the sort of dependable 10 megapixel sensor, likely similar to the S10 Plus's 10 megapixel sensor as well. Looking at the display here, you can see that there is the camera module right there in the middle. I do notice that the bezels are smaller this time by just a hair versus my S10 Plus, which is always a great thing to have smaller bezels, bigger display, yet the phone remains relatively easy to hold. One thing I do have to mention about 120 Hertz is that you have to set the display to 1080p to get the 120 Hertz display. If you go up to 1440p, which is the native resolution of the display, it can only go 60 Hertz. So the battery on the S20 series have been upgraded as well. The S20 has 4,000 milliamp hours, the S20 Plus has 4,500, and the S20 Ultra has 5,000 milliamp hours. So that's a big upgrade in terms of longevity to your battery, because the S10 Plus had, I think, 4,300, something like that. So that's more than a significant amount of battery increased. Plus, the S20 Ultra has a wired charging, fast wired charging of 45 watts, while the S20 and the S20 Plus has 25 watts. All quite respectable, but 45 watts is crazy fast. All right, so finally, what are my impressions and comments about the new S20 series? Well, I really like what Samsung has done with the cameras. They've sort of doubled down on the low light capabilities and the zoom capabilities of even just the base S20 smartphone. It goes up to 30 times hybrid zoom. The low light capabilities have been improved, and the sensors, even the 12 megapixel base sensors of the S20, S20 Plus, have increased in size, so they have more low light capabilities. So it is an upgrade from the S10 series, although they do have the same megapixels. So the big question here is how much will these phones cost? Because as of this recording, I still do not yet know the pricing of these smartphones. Okay, so we now have the pricing for the Galaxy S20, the S20 Plus, and the S20 Ultra. The S20 will retail for 49,990 Philippine pesos, or about 1,000 US dollars. The S20 Plus will retail for 55,890 Philippine pesos, which is about 1,100 US dollars. And the S20 Ultra is going to be on sale for 69,990 Philippine pesos, or about 1,400 US dollars. So actually, same level as the S10, except for the Ultra, which is quite above the standard S10 Plus, which makes sense because it has the aforementioned 108 megapixel sensor and 100 times zoom. So that's all you need to know about the S20 series that was just announced internationally by Samsung. Alexei Rivera here. That has been our coverage of the Samsung S20 series launch. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.